Okay, so we are currently live right now. So I am going to wait a little bit, wait for people to file in. So I'll give it about 5 minutes, and if by then, I figure that'll give enough time for anyone who wants to start. Anyone who wants to watch will watch. So I put a post about it on the forum and everything. Seems like we do have one. We do have one person in chat. Well, not chat, but one person here tonight. So, however you're doing, I hope you're doing well. So, like I said, about 9:20 my time. So about 4 minutes from now, I will start poll review, and basically I'm live streaming it because I don't have enough time today to render out the full video, which will take like a few hours. So yes, we're going to be doing daily polls 64 to 70, which will be fun, and hopefully I can have the hopefully I'll be able to save the VOD of this and have it stay up on the channel, and people will be able to watch it through like a regular video. So I hope I can do that. This is my first time ever streaming on YouTube, so I'm not the best at it. So so I'll give it about 3 more minutes, and then after that I think we will begin. So. Let's see, so I figure I'll get over I've got them all open on the tab, so but I've got chat in the window right now, so if anyone's got anything to say, then that would be quite nice. And I'm thinking the plan that I'm going to be doing is that I'll check chat after every poll I read, so to make sure that I don't miss on chat too much. But while I'm talking to the polls, and I won't be able to read chat. I'll be going through the actual thing. So hope you can understand. Hope you can understand that. But we will pretty soon. I'd say 2 more minutes. I figure I can just start now. So, this is poll review, and we're doing it live because I just feel like doing it live. So, the first one that we're doing today is daily poll 64. We'll see if Thieves' new content make you play the game again. I just realized that I should have put an apostrophe there. I misspelled this. And this one was pretty definitive. Most people have never played Sea of Thieves, about 97%. And then one person, literally me, I used to play the game, and new content will make me come back. And I got 3 months of Game Pass for $1. 3 months of Game Pass for $1. So that's why I re-downloaded Sea of Thieves. I probably won't buy it, but I've heard good things about the new content, so I will get around to playing it eventually, and hopefully I'll have some fun with it, because I didn't have a lot of fun with it when it came out initially. Just a little bit, but not a lot. Wicked Wolf honestly didn't know Rare made Sea of Thieves, and that makes him curious. Still probably won't play it, though. And then Thomas, it's not the Rare that you know. The Rare post Microsoft is about as bad BioWare post EA. And for the most part, I would agree with Thomas that Rare is definitely a shell of their former selves, and BioWare is too. But I mean, there was a little while after EA that BioWare still made some decent stuff. Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, and then I think Dragon Age Inquisition people liked. But other than that, they haven't really done much. Yeah, so most people forgot this game even existed. Thomas says he never played, never will. The single decent thing that the game had was pretty water physics, which I agree. I love the water physics in Sea of Thieves. It's really, really nice. It was a very bare bone game. Yeah, Launch had one type. Well, there's technically two types, but it's basically a skeleton, and then the second type was like a stronger skeleton. So basically, one type of enemy, one type of gun, two types of missions, which were fetch quests, and two ships. No progression. You just unlock cosmetic items. So it's saying every single content update only added one thing to the game. It's like an early access game being sold at full price. Usually the worst example of games as a service that exists. Well, I think Anthem is because, well, at least Sea of Thieves, it functioned, right? Anthem really didn't function all that well at launch. So I would say Anthem is a worse. I would say Anthem is like the worst, one of the worst examples of a live service, just because it just didn't really function at launch, and it barely, and it, I mean, doesn't really have much in the terms of like content. It's getting delayed. At least with Sea of Thieves, like it came out, it was pretty bare bones, and they were consistently updating it. But with Sea of Thieves, it's just sort of, well, not Sea of Thieves, with Anthem, I don't know what's going on with them. So Musa tends to say never played it, doesn't own an Xbox One anymore. Twitch has never played it, and I think that is pretty basic. So yeah, nothing in the chat. Like I said, I want to check it. So I'm going to move on to Daily Poll 65, which is do you care about romance options in games? And I would say so basically I read an article in EG about Stardew Valley, like ranking all the Stardew Valley bachelors and bachelorettes, and I decided to do this. And let's see, most people, 66%, so about 2/3. Well, that's exactly 2/3. Don't actively seek out games. I could literally edit that. Like, I can't edit titles. Okay. Yeah. Seemingly doesn't. It's really slow because I have all these tabs open. But yeah, so 2/3 don't actively seek out games with romance options, but like them have done well. And then about 1/3 said I don't care about romance options in games, and then this one person, this is Jack of Tears, seeks out games with romance options more than games that don't have them. So that's pretty interesting. So Doomy, Doomy, this first time I saw this forum member says doesn't particularly care about them, but if you can seduce a proper way through, then I'm not letting that opportunity slide by. And then Ethan Saito, 300 more. Yeah, well, Ethan Saito says 300 more of these in a year, which pretty interesting. But I'm basically out of ideas at this point, so it's just like a struggle to come up with new ideas. And like this week, some stuff is happening. Like, oh, I'm safe. I can do polls about those. I think it'll be easier around E3 and in the later months when like a lot of these new releases start hitting. And I can do stuff about that. Majestic Boer Goat greatly prefers a game that straight up shows female nudity or scantily clad women consistently instead of locking them behind relationship sim. Not saying you won't buy a game with dating sim elements, but to me it's a hindrance and an annoyance. Kind of like when a game makes you farm lots of rare materials for a sweet new weapon instead of just letting you find it or buy it. Yeah. Lord Banagar. Usually likes games that have romance because it usually means the developers need to make the characters and story interesting. For example, a studio announcer would be no romance options for their upcoming games. At that moment, I knew the game's story was going to be a disaster. Looking at you, where he's talking about Anthem. On the other hand, there are great games without a single thread of romance. I care only when I believe they're not adding romance would end in a lazy, uninteresting writing. Uninteresting writing, like in the case of BioWare. Let's see. Necromancer X69 says, "That's love in the air. Now come here and give me a kiss." Gotta love romance in games. And like plus points of the game romance options comes with anthropomorphic characters. We got a furry on our hands, boys. Which isn't the worst thing you could be. Far from it, I'd say. Is this like a Lion King? I don't know. This is like a reference to something. If you know what it is, then say it. I got. Let's see. Yeah, never. Yeah, that was my. Oh, wait. Yeah, Retro84 says when he first played Harvest Moon on the SNES, I thought it was a really unique idea. By the time Harvest Moon reached the N64, different Magic candidates gave an already addicting game some replay value in seeing unique events with the character. It's a fun addition, but I don't get on my way to fun games with this sort of system. I'd say pretty interesting, and that's I would say where most people are at. It's like if it gives you replay value or makes a story better than, or if it makes a story better, then I would see why people would like it. But other than that, it's just I don't know. Well, other than that, I think most people don't really care for it, like not actively seeking it out. Well, I do want to see, yeah. So Jack of Tears, Jack of Tears says just as people like romance options in books, TVs, and shows. Yes, I enjoy romance in video games. Ties them to the world, gives me Solid 6 and Protect. Yeah, I could have played the Mass Effect trilogy without romancing anyone, but not would I have enjoyed. Would I have? I would not have enjoyed myself as much. Geralt didn't have to choose between Yennefer or Triss, but it's a lot more fun when you play into the romance. You can sleep with them both, but then you end up with neither. Though that makes sleeping with Shani a lot more guilt-free in the expansion. Well, I haven't played as much Witcher. I need to play 30 hours of Witcher 3. I've barely played that game. Such a big game. Well, one of the reasons I love VNs is the deep emotional connections you make with the characters. You get so involved with their lives, their concerns. It makes the game emotionally impactful. Then when you lose someone in those games, when someone you spend long hours learning to care for suffers, and they usually do, you too suffer, and that makes the experience more powerful, more memorable. So, yeah, so Jack of Tears is like the one who's like really pro romance, and he's got a really good reason for it. I can look it out. Like, let's, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I just wanna. I got a new monitor recently, and it's so weird. Like, I'll switch to dark mode, and then the brightness goes down, and then I'll switch to like this sort of background, and the brightness goes up. It's gotta be. It's like set on some mode, and I can't change it because it just doesn't let me change it. I don't know what I did, so it's a nice monitor. It's curved and it's got small bezels. And it's 144 hertz, so I need to build a new computer to take advantage of that. But it's a good. Why am I talking about my monitor? Okay, so let's see. So this is the 66 daily poll. Did you buy a PlayStation Classic? And about a quarter of you guys said you don't care about classic consoles. 2 people own the PlayStation Classic. 17 people don't own the PlayStation Classic and have no plans to. And 3 people don't own it but might buy one in the future. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's see. So, yeah, so this is a pretty definitive. Like, most people, very few people own the class. Most people are either in the camp of, like, they don't own the PlayStation Classic and they aren't going to buy it, or they just don't care about, classic console. So but Wicked Wolf says Persona is the only game I even remotely cared about on that console. After all the bad reviews it got, pretty much killed my already low chance of buying it. Yeah, well, Persona would have been an interesting one if I got the PlayStation Classic, but Metal Gear Solid would have been interesting. Yeah, that's about like that. Metal Gear Solid, and the original Persona are probably the only ones. Maybe Final Fantasy VII. I think that's on it. So it's like 3 games, and I don't know. This is so bad. Let's see. So, Zagreus Veritas says he built his own retro console with Symphony of the Night and Chrono Trigger. Any cheap cash grab Sony produces is bound to be worse, especially since I just upgraded it with fresh guts, new motherboard, new processor, new cooling. Good for you, Veritas. Good for you. Aileron. Don't own, and don't plan to. Way back, years after the PlayStation 2 came off, got a PlayStation 1 used with some games. I played it a bit, then sold it. So, there you go. Cousin Ed has a PlayStation Classic. It's called a PS Vita. So, Balta666 already has a PS Classic on his PC. Oh well, and it's total garbage. Let's see. Spectre says they're selling it for 39 euros in Portugal, and I still find it expensive. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like 30, 40 bucks in the States, and it's like too much money. If it was like 20, 25, or like a flat, like it was like 29.90. I think I've seen the lowest 29.99. So I might buy it if it was like 29.99, or maybe like even 20 bucks. But like I've heard that they've like literally given it away with PlayStation 4 Pros. So, but I don't plan on buying a PlayStation 4 Pro anytime soon. I might buy one for Persona 5 The Royal, but that's like a really really definite mate. That's like a really like probably won't happen, but it might. Hyperweasel has a PS3 already. Buying a PlayStation 1 Classic would be redundant, so I guess Hyperweasel's got one of the good PS3s that's backwards compatible with PS1 games. There aren't too many of those. Musou Tensei says that thing was shoddily and quickly developed after Sony saw how much money Nintendo made with their classic consoles and hoped it would sell through brand recognition and nostalgia alone, but it's just a low quality, low effort product I don't want to own. I think Musou Tensei puts it best with that, and with that we're going to check chat. Still nothing there. But you still got one person watching, and I'm very thankful. So we'll go for 67. So do you own a pre-built or custom PC? And I did this one because I'm planning on building a PC. I'm saving up for it. I bought this monitor. Well, you can't see it, but I bought a monitor. I bought a keyboard. Yeah. Sort of typing on it. It's mechanical Cherry MX Blues, very clicky, very nice, very tactile. So I got all my peripherals set, and now I'm just saving up money for the actual tower, and it'll be really nice. So because I was I was scanning over parts, and I asked on the forum about my build and how I should change it. This has been in my mind, and decided to do this. I decided to do this poll, and most people let's see, so we got 14 people, that's about a quarter don't own a gaming PC, and then most people said they have a custom PC. 10 people have a pre-built, and then 2 people own a custom and a pre-built. So I imagine you got like a pre-built, and then you built a custom one, and then you use a pre-built as like maybe like a streaming PC, or like you put it in the living room, use it as like a media box or something like that, or you give it to your kid or something like that. Wicked Wolf has a PC that could be used for gaming, but I mainly use it to edit stuff. Majestic Beauregard says he doesn't have one, but I'm considering building one when the next gen starts. I think I'll see what I can throw together for $500 to $600. I won't need anything really high end, since I'll mostly be using it for simulators, emulating retro games, and uncensored adult only ecchi and hentai games. Speaking of Sims, does anyone know a good recent single player tank simulator for PC? My love of busting women is rivaled only by my love of HD tank models. Well, I think Majestic Beauregard. There might be a game that's just busty girls and tanks. Just make that just like make busty girls and tanks. Like translate the title to Japanese, and then just say it. Then that's your game title, just busty girl. Or you just make busty girls and tanks. It'd be pretty funny. Another cousin is just like trying to give them recommendations. It mentions World of Tanks and how it's like not pretty good because it's free to play garbage. There's not free. Being free to play doesn't inherently make it bad, but I don't know. World of Tanks is definitely like mobile game levels of grind. So, Telpurion ST says there's one relatively small company. Oh yeah, he says there's a relatively small, not international company that builds custom PCs, and they got a good price. So good. Just so Telpurion has a pre-built, but he picks up the parts like an Origin PC or was Falcon Northwest. I think that's probably like the closest company. the closest thing to like a Falcon Northwest Origin PC. Mad Mummy 76. It might sound like elitism, but you really you aren't really an enthusiast if you have a pre-built system. Much like you aren't a petrol head if you don't work on your own cars at all. Except for my first 286 system, every one of my PCs are custom. I've been personally building my own since '99. Cousin Ed, I have my custom built gaming rig. I gave my pre-built to one of my nephews. Let's see. So Irritable Squid built his own PC about 6 years ago, and it's still alive. Well, kind of, as it does struggle at times. And sounds like it wants to die in the process of gathering parts for my next build. I'm having an argument with myself for which CPU to buy. The cool thing is I've been replacing components in my current PC. I can reuse some of the battery parts to save money, and that's I can. I got my old hard drive. It's a SSHD from Seagate, and it's still working. 2 terabytes of storage. So I'm not buying like an actual hard drive, just an SSD and an M2 for my new build. Bolta has a custom PC from '08. Not sure if it's called a gaming PC, but manageable for the time. Since then, he's been living abroad and moving frequently, therefore it has been only laptops since. So there we go. And I think with that, I'm going to go for Daily Poll 68. Do you own VR? And this was because Valve, they recently announced why can't I think right now? They recently announced the Valve Index, right? And it's $1,000 VR headset, and it looks pretty cool. $1,000 is a lot of money. But, it just got me thinking about VR, and I wanted to ask who owns VR. Only 3 people only 3 of you guys do. Or 3 of the people who responded, only 3 of you, which isn't a lot. Most people don't own VR and have no plans to. Don't own VR and might buy in the future. Don't own VR and will buy in the future. I think I might have been the one who said that. Yeah, I was the one who said that. So, eventually, like one day I really want to invest in it. And I might, after I build my PC, I might buy into like a cheaper, Vive. I might get Vive for cheap. Or cheaper, I should say. Or not that cheaper. Well, less expensive. There we go, less expensive. That's probably the word to use. Hyperweasel doesn't have the money to get a proper VR headset. If I ever got the chance to get one, though, probably will. Retro84 owns a Virtual Boy. Don't count it as an actual VR headset. Anyway, it's something I might get in the future. I've played around with the PlayStation VR and have fun with it. I'd like to wait and see how technology improves upon this. I think Retro's got a nice idea, but you can't. Well, yeah, the Virtual Boy technically you could call it VR, but obviously I'm talking about like the modern, like a PSVR, a Oculus Rift, or or the HTC Vive, or the Valve Index isn't out yet, but that counts among it. Wicked Wolf VR is the only gaming that doesn't interest him at all. It's never seemed to have anything groundbreaking or anything that's a must-buy. Some people say it's the future of gaming, but it hasn't taken the market by storm, so I'm doubtful about that prediction. Well, let's see. I can't. But, no. I was going to say something else like a meme. Like, there's like one VR game that's like a really weeb game. I just show it to him. I'm like, this is the most innovative thing. I'm waiting until we get a fully wireless dedicated VR system that I might consider it. I'd love something like the Vive with all the cords. And I think the cords is like one of the big things that holds a lot of... Well, I think that what holds a lot of people back is the price. The fact that you have to strap this big piece of plastic to your head that can make you nauseous. And all the cords and the setup. Because I'm sure people hear about it. It's like, oh yeah, VR is cool, but you have to mess around with your room to put all the cameras, and you have to plug in like 20 cord cables, and I've got enough cables in my room already. Why should I have like a freaking pound more of them? So I think that's what a lot of people are in mindset. In Jack of Tears owns VR. He owns a Vive. Has been able to play in a year since moving into his new place. Love the thing. It's fantastic. When I was playing, most of the graphics were still sort of cartoony, but it didn't matter. So he says it's really immersive. He's not athletic, so spending a lot of time with feet, swinging his arm around for extended periods of times, can get a bit difficult. The cords are an issue. You can get your feet tangled in the cord. Um, so there, I'm not sure. Can you get a cordless VR system? It'd be pretty cool if you can. So yeah, playing with Vive, he says, was like the Atari. It was like playing an Atari 2600. It's clunky. There weren't a lot of games at first, and the games available were very basic. It often feels like the game designer is still learning the craft and struggling with the limits of the technology. That's all said, I love the 2600 and NES and Sega Genesis, and wouldn't give up the experience of having played them. They made him a gamer, so now we're moving into a new era of gaming, and I'm equally excited to embrace this new direction and see where I can take us. So I think Jack of Tears has got it pretty interesting. So I'm not sure if VR is going to explicitly be the future. There's a lot of possibilities with, what Stadia is going to bring to a table, with how AR is going to work. So it'll be pretty interesting to see where we go in the future. I mean, if the Neuralink, I can't say it, Neuralink, that Elon Musk works on actually exists, you could just put it on, and then you close your eyes, and then you're like in the Skyrim. Like I think Tim Pool said that. Just imagine that. Like you're in Sky, like you can smell Skyrim. You actually see the dragons and everything, and then it's just like a really vivid dream, I would imagine, and that'd be awesome. So let's see. We've got two more, and this is Daily Poll 69. You know what that means, and I do too, which is why I sort of put that little innuendo there. And basically, I think Jeff Fowler, the director of the Sonic movie, had basically said, "We're going to fix the design. Gotta fix fast." A lot of the fans were happy. A lot of people were sort of saying like, "Oh, you can't change. No, it's their creative vision. Don't overwork the animators and all this stuff." I mean, could the animators be overworked? Yeah, maybe, but I mean, do you know that for a fact? Or, I mean, do you have like the emails from like Sonic Animator number 57 who says like I have to work 100 hours a week because people didn't like the initial Sonic design? I mean, that's a possibility, but I just need to see it to believe it. So I think it's a good thing. The movie isn't going to be as much of a flop if Sonic looks like a cartoon character, like Pikachu does in Detective Pikachu, like where he's cartoony enough, and he actually, actually looks pretty decent. I still think Lickitung looks really, really weird. Like not all of the Pokemon look right to me, but more look right than look wrong, I would say. I think Lickitung is the only one that looks like a fucking abomination, but all the other ones, for the most part, are fine. So, the Sonic movie doesn't need to be fixed. That's two people. I'm not sure if people answer this, like, ironically, but if you thought it was fine, then I guess so. I mean, I think it's fine. It's going to make it... If they don't change the design, then just mark it as a horror movie, I'd say. The Sonic movie needs to be fixed, but it won't. That was about 30% of you guys. Sonic's design will be changed, and it'll still be bad. I think this is the one I voted for. Sonic's design will be changed, and it will be good. Twitchit wants to vote for the I don't give a shit option, which I guess you could vote for. Retro84 says the only wishful thinking on his part is that I hope they will fix it for the better. Along with Mario, Sonic was a part of his childhood. I just don't like to see him getting treated like this. Along with the current Sonic games, I've lost their touch. Minus Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is a good game, and I've heard good things about Generations. But Sonic Forces, Sonic Forces was just like everyone forgot about it. But Sonic Mania, people still love it. But if Sonic Forces loses if Sonic loses a creepy look and goes for a design more similar to his game self, it could still at least be enjoyable to watch. And I'm with Retro. I think Jim Carrey will essentially just carry that movie. That's what I think. And I do like Jim Carrey. I mean, The Mask, great movie. I love the Truman Show. It came out like when I was like an infant, I think. That's a great movie. And Jim Carrey's a really, really good. Jim Carrey's a very good actor. He's good at playing eccentric, weird characters, and Robotnik definitely is one. But I mean, Robotnik looks like a cartoon character, and Jim Carrey just looks like a normal dude. Even if he does get like the mustache and he wears like the red coat and all this stuff, I still, I still think it's going to be. It's just not gonna look like a cartoon movie. I don't know why. I don't know why they need to do it live action. They could have made an animated movie, like a fully animated one, like like a Pixar or a Disney movie, and they probably would have been so much better. But I guess they're going with this live action movie because I don't know. It's got more validity. I don't know. Necromancer 86 does believe Sonic will be fixed. Sadly, he will not be saved from the second-hand script they made from what we saw in the trailer. If at the very least they fix Sonic, he'll watch it to show his support for a director listening to the consumer. Unlike some directors like Ryan Johnson. Yeah. Ryan Johnson. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, Ryan Johnson has got quite an interesting Twitter history, or he did, but then he deleted. But okay, I'm getting off track. On the plus side, he does like Jim Carrey, so that and a good-looking Sonic will save a bad script any day. He'll get he will get drunk when he watches, just in case. Only if they fix Sonic. Yeah, I think. If they fix Sonic going in not being sober, you'll probably enjoy the movie. But if you get any sort of inebriation and you go in to watch it and it's still that Sonic, you're gonna not be able to sleep that night. It's just gonna make things look weird. Never change a running system. I don't know what Anime Sisters. I don't know what that account is just like the weirdest one. I don't like half the time. It's just 90% of the time. It's just like one sentence posts that mean literally nothing. That's why 753. Where's the Sonic movie need to be fixed, and I hope it will be option. I guess that's one that I could have like. It needs to be fixed. And I hope I don't know. I guess it might. The Sonic movie might be fixed. Probably would have been the best one. Just since it's a video game movie, it's automatically crap and has to work its way up from there. No amount of CGI tinkering will save it from that fact. And I mean, it's not going to have a good script. I can't imagine like anyone who knows any like good movie writer would want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I don't think anyone does, or any like decent script writer. So they probably got low tier script writers. They spent like most of the budget on the CG and getting Jim Carrey to be in the movie. And paying the staff to film all of it and like all the extras and all that stuff. And then they probably gave like a few pennies. They got like maybe 2 guys in a room for like a weekend and like write us a script for a Sonic movie, and they're like, okay, and they come up with like this with the Sonic movie, which will be really stupid. Because I know half the time he's going to say, I gotta go fast, or I like gold rings, and I saw him like a gold ring. He threw one and it opened like a portal. Well, like freaking like Doctor Strange does. Like I don't know the gold rings can. I don't think the gold rings can do that. Do you? Is there like I haven't played too many Sonic games, but have you played a Sonic game that does that? I don't think so. But let's see. They will fix the design and the story will remain. The story and stuff will remain the same mostly. Don't think it will be a good movie, and I think that's where the consensus is. I think most people won't think it'll be a good movie, which is I don't know. I mean, it's probably the way, but this is the last one of the night, and after this, it will all be over. Daily Poll 70, do you prefer action or turn-based RPGs? Just a random little poll I thought of. Retro 84, well, let's go with the results first. 22% prefer action RPGs, So 11% prefer turn-based, and then let's see, and then 60% like both action and turn-based RPGs equally, and that's where I'm at. I love Nier Automata. I love Persona 5. I love Witcher 3. I love Fire Emblem. I mean, as long as an RPG is a good game, then I'm gonna play it. But I thought, I could do this with like a lot of games. Like, do you prefer? I did one on JRPGs versus Western RPGs like a long time ago. Not a long time, but like a month, maybe like even 2 months ago at this point. Retro84 says likes them both a lot. Grown up with both types with Zelda and Dragon Quest. However, he's always liked the turn-based RPGs a bit more. Can't really explain why either. Galeon says likes both. Don't compare them because they both satisfy me differently enough that I won't compare. Racing games and car games. Like both, but it's action if he had to pick only one. Ari likes both. Turn-based combat flexes your brain. A well-made battle system in a turn-based game makes enemies like a puzzle that you have to pick apart by discovering their weaknesses and countering their strengths. Action flexes them skills, and I adore improving in action-based games, which often takes a lot of head-to-wall bashing until I'm good. Yeah, that's basically my Sekiro experience. That right there in a nutshell. Ten Mulligan likes RPG games in general, but turn-based games like Magic the Gathering Free have a special place in his heart. Bolta 666 doesn't like doesn't like action RPGs, or they normally feel like button mashers for me. Doesn't normally like action RPGs as they are too button mashy for him. Can cope with Skyrim as the combat system is dull enough for the RPG mechanics to be dominant, and not your skill and not your skill in massaging buttons. On the other hand, JRPG is his favorite genre, and gaming by a mile. Zelda is no RPG. Period. So yeah, Bolo, I like both as well. I generally lean towards turn-based RPGs, and I wouldn't call Zelda an RPG. It's an action-adventure game. It's great. I love Zelda. Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Great games. And Majora's Mask as well. It's a great franchise, like one of my favorites. But it's an action-adventure game. There isn't enough to improve Link as a character. Like, there's not enough, like, you don't really level up too much. You don't unlock new skills. You do get items, and you do get new items, and you do get new items and more rupees to, I guess, buy things, but it's more of an action RPG where like you getting an item that allows you to progress in specific ways. I think Breath of the Wild is, you could kind of call it an RPG because you do upgrade your inventory and weapon slots, and you can get stronger armor and better weapons, but it's not really an RPG. So yeah, most people either like them both or they like one over the other, and I think for most people, as long as it's a good game, then they're going to play it. As long as a game that appeals to them, then they're going to play it. I think that's the general message, and I think that's the way to go. So let's see. So I've been Joker the Fool. This has been Poll Review 10. This has been really weird. I've rambled on a lot. I don't think I did this too well at all. Been streaming for about 38 minutes, which is, I don't know, honestly a bit on the, it's I think around average for a Poll Review episode, which is pretty good. And my chair's really squeaky. So, so hopefully at Poll Review 11, I'll just be able to do it as like a not live, but I'll be able to do it like a normal video. Like I said, I'll be uploading, hopefully I can upload the VOD of this onto the channel, so that way anyone who hasn't watched it can watch it as they please. They can watch it as they please. And we got 2 people in here right now, but I've done the whole thing. You can like I said, with the part of this, you can watch it on. You can watch this whole live stream back. See the daily poll, and the Poll Review 11. Probably not going to do live. Today was a bit of a busy day for me, so I just wanted to do it live so that way I wouldn't have to render it out. And that is the only reason. But I've been Joe the Fool. If you liked it, you can like this video or stream. Didn't like it, you can dislike it. And if you want to stick around for more content, you can press subscribe, and you'll hopefully see one of my videos recommended to you again. But I'm gonna sign off now.